I went from listening to music every day of my life to quitting cold turkey for 90 days, and what happened kind of shocked me. From the moment I got my first smartphone as a kid, I was listening to music non-stop. I had my earphones in the car rides, at family gatherings, when I was playing video games. Once I got into the gym, I couldn't work out without my music. And even when I started working jobs and I couldn't listen to my own music, there was always music playing at the job. But then I learned 5 kind of shocking things that completely changed how I understood music and caused me to quit for 90 days. And it dramatically changed my life. It's like I unlocked a new part of my brain. I was more present, I was more focused, I was more happy, to be honest with you. So in this video, I will discuss the 5 reasons why you should probably quit music, but at the end, I'll tell you how to reintroduce it, and as well as things I use instead of music to get even better results in terms of mood and focus. So before the internet, you would only get a big dopamine release from a woman if you were walking down the street and saw a beautiful woman, and that dopamine would propel you, especially if you're single, because you want to find a partner. Compared to now, where you can see thousands of women online with or without clothes. It's the same with music. It used to be something reserved for if you went to a social gathering, a play, a concert, or a festival. Compared to now, where we can listen to any song, any genre, at any time. We got a #1 victory, boy. And that has placed music into the same category as pornography, video games, junk food, etc., and that is cheap dopamine. It is scientifically proven that when music is heard, an ancient part of our brain called the stratum releases dopamine. And because it releases dopamine with no work required, that inherently makes it addictive. Imagine your friend was constantly slamming energy drinks throughout the day or ripping their vape, and you said, "Hey bro, I think you might be addicted." And they said, No, I just really enjoy it. It's just part of who I am." You would think to yourself, yeah, this guy's fucking addicted. Yet that's exactly what we say when it comes to music. We just give it this pass because it's an art form. Listening to music all day is no different from scrolling reels or hitting the vape or playing Subway Surfers. And because we can only release so much dopamine, and we need dopamine to be released for positive tasks so we can actually be productive, this can be detrimental on our progression in life long term. But honestly, it gets much worse than that. There's a reason why most of the best success, money, self-help books out there are mainly drilling mindsets into the reader instead of information, because the authors know that long term, it is the beliefs the reader gets that's going to change their lives, not just information that might help them. Because even though there is kind of a stigma around visualization or yelling affirmations in the mirror, there's a reason people do it, is because it is proven that the inputs you feed your mind fester into your subconscious and influence your actions and beliefs in the future. Music is no different. You are being fed words, bits of information into your brain non-stop, coupled with dopamine so you feel amazing doing it, just like books, visualization, hypnosis. Music is a form of mental programming, which is a nicer way of saying brainwashing. And if you couple that with the fact that modern music is fucking garbage, it's usually degenerate sexually, it encourages drug use, it encourages violence, it encourages negative emotional states, which we'll get into later. You now have a handful of artists, most of them are bad people, and they can control the entire subconscious beliefs of the world's population. I know some people are gonna say, "Oh no, I listen to that kind of music. It doesn't really affect me that way though." Bullshit. How arrogant do you have to be to think that you are above the laws of human psychology? And it doesn't help that music, especially mainstream pop garbage, is played everywhere you go. You go to the gym, you go to the coffee shop, you go to Walmart, music is playing, and you may think, "Oh yeah, I don't really think about it, I just tune it out." Sure, your conscious mind could not be listening to the music, but the subconscious mind listens to everything. And without getting too controversial, if you look at certain groups of people and then pair it with the music of their culture, it reflects exactly how those people tend to behave. And I'm just talking about the music. I haven't even touched on the fact on the artists themselves that are worshipped by their listeners. There's a reason why they call them stars, because back in the day, people worshipped stars. They thought they were gods. And if you've read Plato, you'd know that even back in like 300-400 BC, he was advocating for music police because he was fully aware of how music influences the common population. But it goes beyond the actual words in the song, because music itself is a tool of emotional manipulation. In high school, I had a friend, he was a cool guy, but he was known for being a bit of a for a lack of better words. He had a good life, had a girlfriend, everything like that, but he was just always so mopey and down and boo-hoo and woe is me. And then you look at the music he listens to. It was slow, depressing, sad music, and beyond the actual sound and lyrics, music like that, and music in general, is played at certain frequencies for strategic reasons. It has been scientifically proven that certain frequencies influence the brain to enter certain states. We are emotional creatures, whether we like to admit it or not, and more often than not, our actions and our decisions are based on the emotions we feel at the time, and then afterwards we try to justify it with logic. That's why if you listen to a certain type of music long enough, you start to feel very arrogant, egoic, and then there's another one that makes you feel insecure or sad. There's one that makes you feel very lovey-dovey. There's a reason why when you go to mega churches during certain parts of the service, they will play frequencies, certain tones, especially if they know that they're about to ask for money, because they are trying to put the people attending in an emotional state so they donate more money to the church. I am not exempt from this. I used to listen to very angry music when I would be going for heavy lifts in the gym, very arrogant, egoic hip hop when I was trying to get a pump on, feel good about myself. And there was even a phase around a year ago where I was listening to this one pop folk singer that has blown up recently. I'm not gonna say who. And I like the voice and I like the songs, but I quickly caught myself and realized this guy is a fucking crybaby. His music is about, oh, a breakup, and now I'm an alcoholic because the breakup. And while objectively I saw it as good music, I had to ask myself, why would I be willing to put my personal emotions in the control of someone besides me? That is what you're doing when you listen to music. You're emotionally cucking yourself a little bit. Especially when you're a man in self-improvement trying to improve yourself, become a better decision maker, becoming more stoic. Why would you want to listen to a music that would completely sabotage those things? When I was going hard on self-improvement, I quickly realized that the key to increasing my focus and improving my mental health was becoming more mindful, becoming more present. And I instantly realized how music completely sabotage that, because first of all, if you're playing music during a certain situation, it is clouding up a huge percentage of your conscious mind and influencing the emotions you feel in that state. Whereas if there's no music playing, you're able to truly experience the present moment ideally. I say ideally because even when I cut music out of my life, I was trying to limit it, I was meditating more moments of silence, which is absolutely needed if you want to improve yourself and increase your self-awareness. I noticed that songs were playing in my head almost 24/7, even when I cut out music. And while honestly it pains me to admit this, to this day, there's music stuck in my head, a decent portion. Even when I meditate, sometimes music will get stuck in my head. And almost every single morning, because, you know, when you're sleeping, your subconscious mind is active, your conscious mind isn't, I will wake up in the morning with some random song I haven't listened to since high school just playing in my head like a fucking radio. And it is torture for someone who's trying to be more mindful, more present, more in control of his thoughts. When I was just trying to focus, write, work on my content, work on my business, if there was music playing in my head, it was so hard to focus and think of words to write when in my head is, I don't really care if you cry. And if you need proof that you can't control the subconscious putting stuff into your mind, think about a song, play it in your head for a moment, and then go and try to meditate. Notice how many times it keeps popping up without you trying to evoke it whatsoever. But I will say over time, as I cut out music, my work and my ability to focus got better and better and better. Even if music would get stuck in my head throughout the day, or I'd hear it and it'd get stuck in my head, when I actually sat down to focus and enter flow state, my brain got trained to hyper-focus on the thing at hand. But beyond that, I actually discovered other things I could listen to increase performance. But before I talk about that, my final point is, it is a fucking waste of your mental storage. Think about it. I probably have hundreds, if not 1,000+ songs memorized lyrically in my head. Now, I can't consciously list every single song, but you could play a song I haven't heard in 5 years, and I could still know all of the lyrics. I could know a complete other language if I was listening to a language training instead of all that music throughout my life. Therefore, what a waste of subconscious space to just listen to the same song you've heard 1,000,000+ times when you could be listening to something like certain audiobooks that will shift your mindset, certain podcasts that will open your mind up to different opportunities, learn new things. And speaking of subconscious, when you have music either playing or stuck in your head all the time, what that does is it clouds up your conscious mind. It fills your conscious mind, which blocks the subconscious from actually doing good things, which is surfacing new ideas, new realizations about yourself or about the things you're trying to pursue. And that is why it is so important for you, regardless of if you decide to quit music completely or not, to put long moments of silence throughout your day. Do not be one of those people that wake up in the morning, play music when you're going on a walk, play music when you're driving everywhere. Honestly, I've reached a point where I no longer think it's enough to just meditate for 10 minutes and then live your life distracted the rest of the day. Meditation, mindfulness needs to become a practice that you carry beyond meditation. But speaking of meditation, if you want to know the exact way I was meditating during these times to gain the elite skill that is metacognition, awareness of awareness, the ability to think and observe thoughts, check out my free 5-day series in the description below. But I'm going to be honest, obviously music is a part of life. I don't think one should have completely abstained from music unless it's for very specific purposes. Therefore, I did eventually begin to reintroduce some music back into my life. Because it's somewhat like caffeine. If you drink caffeine every day, all the time, it's not good for you. You're addicted, you're reliant on it. But occasionally, a cup of coffee is a tool to help you elicit a certain result. Therefore, once in a while, if you know a certain song is going to give you a confidence boost or get you hyped for a personal record in the gym, I don't see anything wrong with that occasionally. But just like any other content you consume, ideally, I hope that you're setting standards. There are certain artists and certain types of music that are so degenerate, idiotic, or just negatively charged emotionally that you should simply cut it from your life forever moving forward. It doesn't serve you in any way. Therefore, anytime you listen to it, it is at minimum a waste of time, but at maximum sabotaging your life long term. But to be honest with you, harsh truth, if you're one of those people that has to rely on music to get you to do certain actions, you're not going to make it. Because what that tells me is your outputs are dependent on you being in a certain emotional state. And you can't fully control your emotions. You need to learn how to do certain things regardless of how you feel in the current moment. But I have been holding something from you. There is a certain type of music that is proven to increase cognitive performance without any of the negatives I've spoken about previously, and that is classical music. Beethoven, Bach, Mozart, these guys are viewed as the goats of music for a reason, and honestly, it's debatable if music has gotten any better from their era and time. And finally, like I said earlier, there are certain frequencies that can force your brain into certain states, and instead of being a victim of artists who secretly put it in there trying to make you feel certain things, you can just go on YouTube and look up frequencies for certain things. I listen to a certain set of focus frequencies often when I'm working. In fact, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been playing something like that throughout this entire video. And the third thing might not vibe with you, but if you're more of a spiritual person, I do see tremendous benefit to listening to things like orthodox chants. Personally, when I listen to it, it does make me feel a certain positive way, and there's more spiritual things that say listening to that can ward off certain negative spiritual things without getting into too much detail. But the only way that you can earn the right to reintroduce music in your life and prove that you're in control, prove that you're not addicted, is to go a phase without it. Therefore, if you're up to the challenge, and if you are, comment below, I challenge you to go without music for at least 30 days. If you're interested in the idea of reprogramming your subconscious mind, that's exactly what I teach in my full personal development protocol, Mental Mastery, because I teach you how to reprogram your mind to eliminate things like insecurity, bad habits, and being a victim to negative emotions. Furthermore, if you do want to make the greatest comeback of your life during this phase, you can click the video on the screen right now. Thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. Let me know if you're going to do this or not for realsies. Comment below, and let me know how it goes. Comment below. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.